Hello. Last few months were very interesting and they brought us 3 new interesting players. All 3 belong to the most affordable segment. Their price is from $90 to $150. It is Fiio X1 second generation, Hidizs AP60 and Shanling M1. I've already made separate reviews of all of these players. I will put links down in the video description if you like to see full review. But I've promised that I will make a comparison and briefly compare them and tell about the differences, pro and cons. So the first difference is technical specifications. Fiio use PCM 5242 digital to analog converter by Texas Instruments and a powerful amplifier that gives 100 milliwatts for the 32 ohms load output. Relatively powerful. Higher priced players have more power, but this is the most power of these 3. It has Bluetooth, but without aptX codec. Price is about $100. Of course, I'm speaking about recommended prices because in some countries they can be bigger. AP60 costs $90 and it uses AK4452 digital to analog converter and Max as operational amplifier. So it has 35 milliwatts for the 32 ohms load, but it features Bluetooth with aptX codecs. And Shanling M1 also uses same digital to analog converter and operational amplifier as AP60, but it costs $150, so it's the most expensive of all these 3 players. So as you can see, this one is more powerful, this is less expensive, this has other nice features. So to compare sizes, as you can see, Fiio player is the biggest. Actually, it's really bigger than 2 others. If we compare sizes here, so it's about the same width, a bit smaller and of course shorter. But also Fiio has best battery lifetime. It's almost 12 hours for me in my tests. So Hidizs is second in battery life test. It's about 10 hours, just a bit more, and this one gives about 9 hours and 20 minutes. So it has a less lifetime, but it's still pretty okay for everyday usage and so on. So actually, weight is, by the way, this Fiio player made of metal. It's aluminium, but it's not much heavier than these 2 actually. Also, interesting difference is that Shanling uses USB Type-C connector. It's more modern and more robust. And about the controls, so Fiio uses new sensor wheel. It's comfortable, it's nice, it has familiar menu, common to all Fiio products. So it's nice. It's fast, it's sleek, so I like these controls actually. Unfortunately, Fiio recently migrated to the new processor architecture. They're using MIPS architecture and their firmware is a little bit buggy. It's not big issues, at least for me, but there are some small nuances that has some small flaws, some errors in playback, but Fiio working on removing those errors. Now AP60. Let me turn it on. As you can see, all 3 players boot up pretty quickly. So this one uses sensor buttons. They are not as comfortable as other 2 players because you can't control them without looking, but in last firmwares you can change tracks by long pressing of these buttons, so it's a bit of improvement. So also nice menu, all functions that you can expect they are present, so it's nice, robust, reliable player. And the most, I think, interesting by the controls, it's Shanling M1. So as you can see, it's mostly rectangular. It has a biggest screen with better resolution, and all controls are made by this wheel. So you can rotate it, you can click it, so it has many different functions, but it's comfortable and you get used to it. So it's screen locking button. By the way, it's the only player that has built-in clock. Back buttons and track navigation. So actually this player is pretty well controlled in the pocket without locking. So anyway, I think this one is the most comfortable in the controls, but you need to get used to. And Fiio is almost as good. And this one is a bit worse, but actually for me it's also pretty okay. And of course about the sound. So if we divide them, Fiio stands out. In terms of sound, it's definitely the best player. It has more power, better resolution, better depth, better width, so it's a more mature player in terms of sound. It's obvious choice if you have big cans, because 100 milliwatts of power, it's much better than 35. So it has the best sound with better bass texture and so on and so forth. But recently I've found out for myself that wireless Bluetooth headphones really developed in last few years, and there are many good models with aptX codec. So if you're using wireless headphones or planning to use some Bluetooth speakers and so on, Fiio is worst actually, because this processor architecture doesn't support aptX codec, so there is no aptX built in here. But for wired connection, it's definitely the best sound of these three players. This Hidizs AP60 was the worst player by sound quality initially. It was lacking lower frequencies, has noticeable roll-off in the low frequencies. It has roll-off in high frequencies, but recently last firmware version improved this situation a bit, so it's bass. It has more bass than in first firmware versions, but it's still lacking some power and some punch. This player is mainly for the IEMs and for sensitive models. It can drive high impedance cans, it can drive nothing with sensitivity, I think, less than 100 decibels, as well as this one. So it's still a bit worse sound-wise than Shanling, but it's pretty better. So it's mid-centric player with more accent on the mid frequencies, but it's pretty natural and has nice emotions. And Shanling M1, it's by sound quality, it's in between the Fiio and AP60. It has more bass, but it also a bit lacking punch, but less than this one. And the treble here is better than in Hidizs model, so it's the most natural of these three. It's more resolving than this one, but it's more audiophilic with better resolution and a bit less emotional coloration. So if you like more emotions, you can choose Hidizs. If you like better resolution and better imaging, sound staging, it's Shanling M1. But this one is in the another league of these two. So to summarize pros and cons of these players. So Fiio X1 second generation has best sound, more power, almost 3 times more power, best battery lifetime, so it's a player for those who like just best sounding. It's his pros side. Cons is that it doesn't work as USB digital to analog converter, it doesn't work as a digital source like this 3 players, so you can't connect it via USB to digital to analog converter external. It doesn't have aptX codec, it doesn't support DSD, and it has small issues with firmware that I hopefully will be resolved in future. So it's player and it's the biggest. It has best battery lifetime, and it's the biggest of all these three. So this is the player for those who need pure best sound in wired connection. Shanling M1 has the best sound between these two ones. It's more resolving on the mids and on the treble, and has bit tighter bass. It can be used as digital to analog converter. It supports aptX codec. It can be used as a digital source, so you can attach it to the external USB digital to analog converter. But it's the most expensive, and it has less battery life of these three ones. And Shanling, Hidizs AP60. It has the worst sound, but it's still good. But this two is better. It can be also used as digital to analog converter. It has aptX codec as well as this one, and it has more battery life than this one. So actually, and it's more emotional. So if you need more resolution and more natural sound, Shanling M1 is for you. If you like more emotional representation and more battery lifetime, Hidizs is for you. Otherwise, these two are almost equal. And this one is a bit more comfortable in terms of controls, because sensor controls here are not as comfortable as the click wheel here. Thank you for attention.